So, in what is a big deal for Angel Reese and the Atlanta Dream, we are now looking at a situation where Angel Reese is going to be the team's primary center for a large chunk of the season. And by a large chunk of the season, like there's a lot of games early. If you guys don't know here, Brionna Jones, who is an all-star power forward, is now currently out after signing. There's a reason why she signed a little bit under the minimum. If you're wondering why she didn't sign not under minimum, under the maximum. She didn't sign a full max. She signed a little bit under the max. This now makes sense. We are looking at a player who has clearly signed a big deal, but taken a pay cut because of an injury. So right now, obviously, we're now looking at a situation where like Bree Jones is clearly an important player for this team and a player that the Atlanta Dream need if they want to win. Like, they're not going to win anything without Bree Jones. And Bree Jones being injured turns them from what is a big team, because they've got a lot of big guards, to a team playing an undersized center. And like, I don't know how much I love Angel Reese beside Naz Holman at center. I think she can be an effective small ball center, but they don't have I liked her as kind of a Alyssa Thomas light small ball center. You've got three ball dominant players in Jordan Canada, Alicia Gray, and Jordan Canada, Alicia Gray, and Ryan Howard. It becomes a little bit trickier as far as post touches are concerned. I'd say she pretty much is one of these players where you are going to chuck into the post now with Angel, and she's probably going to play the 5. I think it becomes a little bit trickier. Do I think Bree Jones is going to be injured for the regular season? No. Like, I think it's safe to work on the assumption that she's going to be healthy for the regular season, or say for the postseason. That being said, if you're looking here, like Angel Naz, the first domino falls to why they picked Okot in the draft. Medina Okot has to play. Wasn't the surgery in February? Like, reporting on it now makes sense. She suffered a meniscus tear and she's expected to return from it. So basically, that's not a good sign. So she went to the States to undergo surgery in February for a meniscus tear. And now it appears that she's just had another surgery. And for a lot of people, they're going to be like, okay, what happens with, can they sign Tina Charles? I don't have the money to sign Tina Charles. Unless Bree Jones is out for the injury, for every season, they can't make a salary cap exception to her. And it makes it really, really tough, depending on when she's back. Look, they're not winning a title. I said with all their players there, they're a better, because they moneyball it, they're a better regular season than the Fever. If Bree Jones is out for the season, they're not a better regular season team than the Fever. They're going to be close enough, but they're just not better. Like, you now have Angel Reese playing center. And you see her doing that after signing your contract. She signed a little bit less. They knew. Yeah, she got injured in Prague. They signed her to a long-term deal and a little bit less money so that they could get her, or so that they could keep her. And look, Bree Jones, as much as I don't want to say it is, it's not like Bree Jones hasn't been, I know she's 30, I think. It's not like she hasn't been extremely, I'm not going to say extremely injury prone. It's not like she hasn't torn her Achilles. Like, if she's a torn Achilles and a meniscus tear, these are not good injuries to have. Like, these are not injuries that you want to have as a team, have someone on your team having. Because they're the type of injuries that can absolutely negatively affect a player. And she came back well from the Achilles injury, didn't move quite the same, and now a meniscus tear, and you're looking at a situation now where bigs have to move more than ever. This isn't like the old days where you could have a slow down big. Medina Okot is going to have to play a lot of reps, and I don't think Medina Okot is ready to play a lot of reps. Like, I cannot stress it enough. I don't think Medina Okot is ready. I think she'll be an okay player. I don't think she's even close to being ready. to to being a WNBA key rotational piece. It's one thing when people are saying for the Fever, oh yeah, you should have drafted Okot and had Okot fight it out with Dantas over the season for backup minutes, versus Medina Okot being the only real size they have off the bench. Like, paying Naz Hillman the big money makes sense now. But you've now got Angel and Naz, who I do think is a good combo, by the way. But if one of them are in foul trouble, or if another team has size, they've really got to moneyball it. Angel's going to be shooting 4 threes a game. They have got to triple down in moneyballing it, and Angel's got to become a high volume 3-point shooter, or at least somebody that can spread the floor. That has to be the minimum that Angel has to be, when it comes down to it, for the Atlanta Dream to be successful in the regular season. Look, Bree Jones comes back in the playoffs. I think they're still the 5th best team when it comes to the playoffs. That would be my take on the Atlanta Dream, is that they're about the 5th best team. However, with me saying they're going to be the 5th best team, I had them 3rd in my regular season. I don't think they're going to be as good in the playoffs as the Mercury. I don't think they're going to be as good in the playoffs as the Fever. They might be. Sorry, I had them 2nd in my regular season. They would have been 2nd originally in my power rankings, because they are Moneyball teams always do well in the regular season. But yeah, it really is one of these things where it is Angel Reese has to be a absolutely all-star plus level player, not a all-star level player as in the way she's been. I'll say it, last year she was I think she was on the border of being an all-star. I don't think she should have been an all-star for Caitlin McBride. That being said, if it wasn't for voting, I think you could argue she played 9 games. The Caitlin Clark at the time was borderline not an all-star. But I feel like when it comes to Bree Jones, or when it comes to Angel Reese, she's got to be all-star plus. She's got to be as good. She's got to actually be as good as her fans believe she is for this Atlanta Dream team to be that 2-3 seed, which is what I think they're going for this season. So yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it. A really tough, injury for Bree Jones. A really important injury for a team's only real center. And look, if you're saying, one Bree Jones injury means that this team, if one Bree Jones injury means that this team can't win, they're a bad team. It's the Fever are an Aaliyah Boston injury away from missing the playoffs. We can be real here. Injuries do matter. The Aces are an Aja Wilson injury away from being in the Juju sweepstakes. It happens. But anyway, I'll see you guys.